Interest in establishing mixed species swards has increased in recent years, with farmers reporting on their ability to produce good quantities of quality forage and improve livestock performance and health at reduced cost. In this video we'll hear from James Drummond of Leamington Hill Head Farm in Northumberland, North East England, who's been working with ADAS to set up a trial looking at establishing and growing mixed species swards and measuring sward and livestock performance. The trial is part of the Horizon 2020 Super G project, which has 23 farmer networks across 14 European countries. So what was James interested to find out from this trial?
Hopefully we'll find out how to better manage these sorts of swards. We grow a lot of herb legume lays on farm, and we'd like to know really how to get the most out of these lays and performance of the animals, the performance of the lay. We look at the nutrient management required to get the most out of these. We've put sandfoin in the mix here for the last few years. We get great benefits from the reduction in intestinal torsions, but we find a big persistency issue with the sandfoin. So hopefully, looking at the bird's foot trefoil with the similar condensed tannins in it, we can see if we can get longer longevity from this plant and still get the added benefit of the reduction of torsions.
The soils at Leamington Hill Head are low in phosphorus, so the trial was set up to look at the response of swards to phosphate and nitrogen fertiliser within a single grazing regime. 5 species mixes were established in 5 separate blocks, and phosphorus fertiliser applied to half of each block. The 5 species mixes were firstly a base mix of ryegrass, white clover and plantain with no additional herbs. Secondly, sandfoin added to the base mix. Thirdly, bird's foot trefoil added to the base mix. A 4th treatment with half sandfoin and bird's foot trefoil seed rates added to the standard base mix seed rate. And the final and 5th treatment was half sandfoin and bird's foot trefoil rates added to half the base mix seed rate. Nitrogen fertiliser treatments, 3N rates and a 0N control, were then applied to each treatment. Sward species composition was measured on each block in early spring 2020 and after the first set stock grazing period. So how were the different sward mixes established?
The sward was established in August after spraying off some permanent pasture fields. We managed to get the sprayer in between showers and then came in with a Moore uni drill to establish the 5 plots. We then went in with some Clip-X fencing and the water infrastructure so we could start collecting data this spring from hogs and their singles and getting that first data point collection to look at the difference between the different blocks.
Was there any difference in livestock performance between different blocks?
Yes, certainly. We saw a difference, especially the 2 blocks we're standing in, improved performance over the ones that the herb legume contents didn't establish quite as well to start with. So these blocks that have got a lot higher herb legume content performed a lot better in that first waypoint. So there was hogs, lambs with singles on here. They did 390 grams a day on this block, 380 in the one next door. The grass block and the ones with the lower herb legume content were 340 and 350 grams a day, which the 50 grams a day difference was sort of 2.8 kilos difference in 8-week weight. That followed on to weaning, where we saw a 40 grams difference between the blocks and nearly a 5 kilo difference in weaning weight between the blocks with the higher herb legume contents and those with more grass. And that's similar to other trial blocks that we have on farm as well. We've seen that difference. The more herb legume content, the better growth rate we're getting.
After weaning, James introduced a rotational grazing system with 1 group of lambs grazed on each block every few weeks. Grass growth cages were set up on every treatment so that grass growth could be measured. ADAS researchers will continue to work with James to measure performance of the swards and grazing livestock over the next few years. Results will be made available through local farmer networks and on the project website. Find out more at www.superg.eu.